Every leap into the unknown starts with a single question. Will you watch the future unfold, or will you be the one shaping it? When something is important enough, you don't wait for the odds to turn in your favor. You forge ahead, knowing that even failure is just a step closer to innovation. Choose to be extraordinary, because the future belongs to those bold enough to create it. Here are some notable quotes from Elon Musk. They reflect his views on technology, entrepreneurship, innovation, and the future. On innovation and technology. When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. Persistence is very important. You should not give up unless you are forced to give up. I think it is possible for ordinary people to choose to be extraordinary. Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough. Any product that needs a manual to work is broken. I could either watch it happen or be a part of it. The first step is to establish that something is possible. Then probability will occur. If something is important enough, even if the odds are against you, you should still do it. I don't create companies for the sake of creating companies, but to get things done. Great companies are built on great products. On space exploration. I think we are at the dawn of a new era in commercial space exploration. It's okay to have your eggs in one basket as long as you control what happens to that basket. The future of humanity is going to bifurcate in two directions. Either it's going to become multiplanetary, or it's going to remain confined to one planet, and eventually there's going to be an extinction event. Mars is the only place in the solar system where it's possible for life to become multiplanetarian. I think we need to be a multiplanetary civilization, not because I think something terrible will happen on Earth, but just because I think we want to be an inspiring future. On entrepreneurship and business, my proceeds from the PayPal acquisition were $180 million. I put $100 million in SpaceX, $70 million in Tesla, and $10 million in Solar City. I had to borrow money for rent. I always invest my own money in the companies that I create. I don't believe in the whole thing of just using other people's money. I don't think that's right. I'm not going to ask other people to invest in something if I'm not prepared to do so myself. Work like hell. I mean, you just have to put in 80 to 100-hour weeks every week. This improves the odds of success. If you get up in the morning and think the future is going to be better, it is a bright day. Otherwise, it's not. Starting a company is like eating glass and staring into the abyss. Being an entrepreneur is like eating glass and staring into the abyss of death. You should take the approach that you're wrong. Your goal is to be less wrong. I'm interested in things that change the world or that affect the future, and wondrous new technology where you see it and you're like, wow, how did that even happen? How is that possible? There are two things that will accelerate the future: electric vehicles and space exploration. Talent is extremely important. It's like a sports team. The team that has the best individual player will often win, but then there's a multiplier from how those players work together and the strategy they employ. On risk and failure. If you're not failing, you're not innovating enough. I'm not trying to be anyone's savior. I'm just trying to think about the future and not be sad. Take risks now and do something bold. You won't regret it. I think it is very important to have a feedback loop where you're constantly thinking about what you've done and how you could be doing it better. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough. Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough. The path to the CEO's office should not be through the CFO's office, and it should not be through the marketing department. It needs to be through engineering and design. You shouldn't do things differently just because they're different. They need to be better. I don't think it's a good idea to plan to sell a company. The biggest mistake I've made is probably weighing too much on someone's talent and not someone's personality. I think it matters whether someone has a good heart. On the future and humanity, the future is going to be weird. I would like to die on Mars, just not on impact. Some people don't like change, but you need to embrace change if the alternative is disaster. It is important to view knowledge as sort of a semantic tree. Make sure you understand the fundamental principles, i.e., the trunk and big branches, before you get into the leaves details, or there is nothing for them to hang on to. The key to making things affordable is design and technology improvements, as well as scale. I think we should try to make the future as good as possible. I think it's possible for ordinary people to choose to be extraordinary. We have a duty to maintain the light of consciousness to make sure it continues into the future. Really, the only thing that makes sense is to strive for greater collective enlightenment. Life is too short for long-term grudges. If something is important enough, even if the odds are against you, you should still do it. People work better when they know what the goal is and why. It is important that people look forward to coming to work in the morning and enjoy working. The first step is to establish that something is possible. Then probability will occur. Constantly seek criticism. A well-thought-out critique of whatever you're doing is as valuable as gold. If your co-founder or CEO